Okay.
All right, we are live. What's going on, y'all? This is BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOC.TV. So I'm going to shout out everybody who's been commenting on the blog at the end of this, because I really want to get right into the topic for the night, the BET Hip Hop Award Show 2015. Shout out to the co-host, Deshaunus, man. Say what's up to the people, man.
What's up, people? You know what it is. Mr. Consistent, it's the same thing. 3500 916 BMOC. Most importantly, man, thank you for all the support. We do this one for y'all. You know, we up at the wee hours watching a whole lot of subpar TV. When I had important Madden business to tend to, and I got folks that's upset. So this is for y'all.
Did you win an award? This is the longest intro ever in America. I don't know what's going on.
If I did, I wouldn't have the BET Award.
Right. Drew, man, say what's up to the people, man.
What's going on? It's Drew. Yeah, got the sack in the building. BMOC. Love doing this, so I'm ready to have fun.
We here, man. Erica, say what's up to the people. The radio failed. BET failed. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? It's E from theradiofail.com. Check us out, theradiofail.com, and also the podcast at theradiofail.com. I'm ready to talk about the BET Awards. It was crazy.
Where do I begin? You know what? I'm not even going to begin tonight. No, let me begin. So let's see. We did the whole recap. Well, we did the predictions a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the awards, they gave nominations to Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, Nicki Minaj, Big Sean, Fetty Wap.
Yeah.
None of them showed up.
Nah.
Like, none of them showed up at all.
Nope.
Period.
Yeah, there was not one there.
One of them said that, like, Fetty Wap couldn't accept the award because of the accident, but the accident was 3 weeks ago. In those 3 weeks, he's been on The Breakfast Club, he's been at Hot 97.
Well, he did the Breakfast Club one before, I think he got caught up in the accident.
I saw him outside. So you could be outside, you could be at the BET Awards? I don't know. Deshaunus, man, just start off, man. What do you want to talk about tonight, man? Just talk, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, first of all, we got to talk about the positive. And the positive was my man Diddy.
Yeah,
Diddy
that was the positive?
What? Did you see Diddy with the working? Man, listen. If Diddy could donate his swag and stage presence to like Lloyd Banks or Lupe Fiasco, we would have like a problem. Like his set was cold, the breakdowns, like the performance was crazy. Diddy is the swag of the industry.
I couldn't see him. The lights was too dark.
It was too dark. Yeah.
I saw Little Kim in a coat moving. I didn't know who it was. I thought it was Ghost Dad. I didn't know.
That was considerate because we didn't need to see Little Kim, and we were fortunate not to see her face, and so we were good. We got the best of both worlds.
Oh my gosh. That was the Okay, Drew, anything positive from the award show, man?
I think for me the best part was the second Cypher, the one that had Ben Staples and the Veggies Kid. But I like that Cypher. That was super dope. Yeah. That's about it, man. There wasn't too much else that I was really feeling, honestly.
Erica, anything positive from the award show?
Well, I did like the beatbox Cypher. I thought that was probably the best part of the show. That was probably the best Cypher, the beatbox.
Right.
That was about it. Yeah, the beatboxing. I enjoyed all the Dougie Fresh, all the sound. Oh yeah, Redman.
Ooh, Redman's verse was nice.
Yeah,
Redman's verse was nice.
He definitely killed it. I think maybe that was it. That might be it.
Well, the Smack URL freestyler. Shout out to Smack. With T-Top. K-Shine, DNA, Charlie Clips, and Boy Rain from North Carolina. They did it. They did their thing. The best cypher of the night.
Charlie Clips was cold. I mean, that was cold, man. He brought it.
I forgot about it. That was decent too.
Yeah.
One thing, I was never a big fan of Keith Murray, and tonight reaffirmed why I never was a big fan of Keith Murray. I thought he was super whack.
The most beautiful thing in this world.
He's hella, just real quick, randomly, there was a show out here. I don't know if you heard about this, Sean. It was like a couple of weeks ago. It was Keith Murray, Jermaine Dupri, and somebody else. It was the most random show you ever hear of. I'm like,
What
how
show
they
was
get
that?
together? Yeah, it was some show out here. It was super weird, but yeah.
Shout out to them. I think about to bring up that battle they had with him with Fredro. But what else was positive? Hold up, I took some notes of a Cypher.
Yeah, I'm looking for my notes too.
There was some guy named Lucas. His last name was Lucas.
Jordan was his name.
Oh, the guy from Massachusetts.
Yeah, Joyner Lucas. Yeah, he was dope.
His flow was crazy at the end of that. What
It got better at the end because it started off real lame, and then it got better.
Did y'all like Rory?
It started off weak.
I like Rory.
That's what I was going to say next, Eric. I like the dude from Atlanta, right? With the bucket hat. That's the one. That was the one with Vince Staples. I thought that whole cycle was. I like that.
Yeah, that was hard.
And that KC Veggies or whatever the person. I think that was a little too short. I thought it was something more there if they would have gave him more time.
You know who was real short? Tink's verse was short.
Yeah, I expected more from her. I kind of wanted more.
I'm starting to think Tink's a little overrated. I'm starting to think that. I've heard a couple songs, and Tink's not impressing me either way. Like when Timberland, because I think what happened for me personally, I think Timberland, when he was on the Breakfast Club, he talked about her like she was like really, really crazy. And
next comment.
Charlamagne too. Charlamagne made her crazy.
And Envy, and I think she does have talent. I definitely see that. It hasn't matched up to what they was talking about. So
yeah, and I like the record, but for that was kind of her moment to shine. I feel like she gave us like an 8, but she could have gave us like 34 bars.
Yeah, I wanted more from Tink.
A lot more, but what she did wasn't bad. It was just cut short.
I tell you what hurt a lot of people, and like Dave's Loaf was one. Like the sound quality, like you couldn't hear anybody. Like they just set that up at the last minute, and like a lot of them don't have the stage presence to overcome. Not really know. I mean, everybody, like in my opinion, Tip's stage presence has always been underrated. I think Tip has a high energy performance. So, but the rest of them, it's like if you just walking around, you know, or like the last performance, you kind of whatever that was. You need better sound quality to follow the bars, man. Because you go walk around hunched over and walk around on big tires or whatever, at least have the sound quality be better than what it was. That was why.
All right. So before we go in, is there anything else positive that we thought, man? Anything else? I'm trying. I'm going through my notes.
Man, that was hard. That's hard to come by in this show. I can honestly.
Okay.
I'm always happy to see Puff. So every time I see Puff, that's a positive for me.
But Puff, I don't know what.
Puff, I agree. It was too dark. I think the light. It was a little bit too dark.
And Puff, all those people in the background look like the bad boy version of Thriller on stage. He was jumping around and he was doing some dance. He was like,
he was trying to be 21.
I don't know. Listen. We love Puff. We love Diddy. We love Puff Daddy. We love Puffity Puff. All that stuff is dope, right?
Sean.
But I think we just want Diddy to kind of hype people up and hype the artist stuff. I don't know if you want Diddy to come back on his artist tip just yet.
I mean, well, I liked Finna Get Loose, and I liked the song that he performed at the show, but I kind of want to hear it in another way because I feel like the show was so horrible that Diddy, it kind of looked like it was great, but maybe it wasn't, just because the whole show was really bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys follow Puff on Instagram, but I do, and he the album's supposed to be called Money Making Mitch, and that alone got my attention, which is super dope. And then, but he played a couple of snippets, a couple of songs I thought sounded dope. I don't know if they're gonna make the album or not, but I think could be something there. Cause there was a couple of snippets on some of the Instagram posts that I liked.
Yeah, and like I like Finna Get Loose, but I gotta be honest with you. And I keep saying this. I feel like that's a mystical song with the do. That flow is all mystical. That's mystical danger. Yeah. That shaking. They kind of took his flow with that. I gotta be honest. I like it, but it's a mystical song. I don't know.
If you're taking somebody's flow as if it's been defunct for like 15 years, I mean, it's not really.
Yeah, that's not like
10, not 15. 10.
Yeah, I don't think Mystical coming back. So
he's back now.
If Drew comes steal my vacuum cleaner, but I got hardwood floors, does it really matter? I mean, let him clean his carpet.
It's like Swiss Beats taking DMX flow, man. It's just I love these guys, man. I love Diddy, man. But I don't know. Tonight was a little shaky. I don't know. So what else? Let's. So first of all,
E40 accepted an award.
E40 accepts the award. Big Sean isn't there. I'm West Coast. Big Sean is highlighting me, man. How do you feel about this, man?
You know, I feel like, man, that's just kind of, that's just how we are, man. I think, you know, a lot of the guys that I follow from the West Coast are, you know, kind of low maintenance. It's funny because that's where Hollywood is, right? But a lot of our artists are like street guys, like 40, Mac Dre, Too Short. Like all of our guys seem to come from the streets. And so it's kind of just interesting. Like we showing up, you know, with the crew, and we go accept this award, and he's probably going to turn up in Atlanta and make some more connects. So it's good. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. And I had no problem with E40 accepting the award. I had a problem with Big Sean not being there at all.
He tweeted, Big Sean. I think he might have been the only one to tweet. You know, he was just like,
first
award of the show. He just thanked everybody. You know.
Where did he do that at?
He was on Twitter.
Drew, where did he do that at, man?
Well, I was talking to my wife, and one thing I was wondering, a couple things. For one, what is like the budget that BT is working with? Because it doesn't look up to par, and it's like, and I saw those commercials too for the Soul Train Awards, and I know the Soul Train Awards, nobody shows up. You think about back in the '90s. Think about the '90s when the Soul Train Awards was going on.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson would be there, Eddie Murphy would be there. Like the stars came out, it was a big thing. Now it's like the predominantly black award shows, nobody shows up. And it's tough because then you kind of look at it, it's like, well, if I was Jay-Z, if I was Kanye, why would I be in here? You know,
and that's
you want to support the culture, but it's like, there's nothing here for me really. And I wonder, like, well, is there some 20 years you've known Jay-Z the whole time? I might just send him the call, you know, he might not even answer. And to see like, well, you maybe show up, but it's like,
that's the thing. We don't, and that's a good point. We don't even need Jay to show up. We need J. Cole, Drake, Big Sean.
Meek Mill didn't even come. Meek Mill wasn't even there.
Meek Mill didn't even come. And Nicki wasn't there. But I'm saying, and that's not a shot. That's not a shot. I'm just saying.
So, here's something I wonder. I wonder. Is the purpose of the BET Hip Hop Awards to kind of showcase what's currently happening, or to break new artists? Because it seems like maybe with the Cyphers and the artists they pick, they're not so much trying to hit home the A-listers like the regular BET Awards. So I'm like, whatever it is, they're missing on both. So if you're supposed to break through new cats, then have having the smack cast and that, like, that's cool, but you got to make sure you bring home where, you know, we leave into YouTube all the cast that was on there. Or if you're supposed to bring the A-listers and you go honor them, then have them. But this in between and not really breaking anybody new or not really having the A-listers really sucks. You got to pick a lane and say, hey, when somebody breaks through, we got it here, or we got the A-listers.
And that's the problem. The smack battlers get millions of views every day. They don't necessarily even. It's funny now, but the people who watch the BET Hip Hop Awards are not going to benefit them. They need to be on like the BET Awards. You know what I'm saying? The Hip Hop Awards is kind of whatever for them. But you're right. There's an imbalance. It's kind of like it's so funny nowadays because we grew up in the 90s generation and we've seen kind of the bigger artists. But these Drake, Kendrick people, they're A-list, but they're still the closest to hip hop. So for them to not be there at all says a lot about this present state. Like, they're nominated for the most awards. So if BT's not breaking new artists, why are you nominating all these higher list artists who are not going to show up? It's just it's so imbalanced.
And it lowers the credibility of the show. So
exactly,
you know, it lessens its importance.
Exactly.
And I think, but I also have a two-way thing though, because I think people like J. Cole, Drake, they all need to kind of appreciate also that they are winning something because this is the community, the fan base, the viewership of the people who are listening to your music, a lot and going to your shows and stuff like that. So, you kind of have to get back in that way. I know people have tours and stuff like that. You might miss a show, but you have to, as part of this, it's on the artist too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure BT is not going to tell Drake not to come. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. And to your point, back in the day, the reason why this has happened, I just don't think you can speculate, is because BT played a lot of videos, and the artists needed BT to play videos for them to promote themselves, right? But because BT aren't necessarily the focal point for videos, why do I really need BT? So it's like you need me more than I need you. So why do I have to show up? So now it's like, because you're not playing me all day, maybe I don't need to show up to the BET Awards. So so the credibility is being lost, and the importance of marketing is now being lost. The VMAs ratings went down. I mean that's the most universal-ish look. Erica, man, what are some points, just some not even good stuff. What is just some stuff in general that stuck out to you from the night show?
I mean, I'll say this. First of all, I need professional artists not to perform with the vocal in the background.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That was like the biggest. Like, for Future to start the show and he had the vocal in the background. First of all, I thought it seemed like he forgot some of his own words in his own songs. So it's
are there words?
Run together.
So there are words. Okay, that's what for me.
So I think that set the tone for the entire show. I hate to say it, and I do like Future, and I do like DS2, but the par was very low for the show. Like I said, it was like an HBCU concert, like HBCU homecoming concert. Like that's really what it was. It
Not
seemed
in North Carolina. But yeah, and the thing is, it's so funny. Future's slick. Future think he's slick. Was Future even there?
That's a good question, because it seemed like it could have been like a little screen, a video performance.
Future, were you there? Oh my god! I think Future was somewhere else in a far distant land, and then after he performed, the BT Awards started.
Had to be that would make more sense.
Well, Uncle Snoop coming out playing the songs of people who are not going to be there.
But that was the most popping part of the show. Like when Snoop came out with Snoop Doggy Dogg, it was like, oh. And then he started playing back to back. Like it was popping. Like I was like, okay, Snoop about to set it off. Like I would rather Snoop open the show.
But Drew, you have to. This is terrible, man. First of all, Snoop starts off playing a Future song. Future just performed.
Yeah. That show was just hard. It was hard to watch, because I'm looking at Snoop too, and I'm like, Snoop feels like he's having fun, but even with that, it's like you just kind of look way too old to be dealing with all of this. Like they're up there hitting the Quan, and you like 44, and it's like.
Thanks for bringing that up. So Erica, you are the youth of this panel. So I need to ask you a question. I don't know if Deshaunus may already know this, but so there's a performance tonight called Hit the Quan.
Yeah.
But Rich Homie Quan wasn't doing the Quan.
Yeah, no.
So which Quan was it hitting the Quan?
I'm not even going live. Like I was confused. I was confused the entire performance. I was like, at that point, I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't in my age demographic anymore. It
was like Flex Alexander hitting the Quan. I'm like, who is this dude?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get that point at all.
Is it Jay Quan?
And then Rich Homie Quan came out later.
You want to say Ray Quan?
That's the thing. That part was confusing. I think that part could have been left out.
So we need to figure out who that guy is. Is he Rich Homie Quan, Jay Quan, or Ray Quan?
They said the name I Heart Memphis or something like that, right? Isn't that the name of the
Yeah, I Heart Memphis. Yeah.
I Heart Radio. What?
See, I was confused. I thought they were saying like something, but yeah, I Heart Radio. Like that's what I thought.
Yeah, they might as well brought the Whip Nene dude out. There would have been no difference.
Yeah, they should have. I think that was. Yeah, no, they definitely should have. I think because I mean that wasn't necessarily a bad part of the show. I mean, you had the kids dancing in the balance and all that. I mean, it was.
I left my own show to figure out which Quan that was. I have no idea. I could have swore when they said hit the Quan, Rich Homie Quan was going to come out.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was gonna come and perform.
And he didn't.
Watching that show, I really feel hella old. Like and I'm 32. I just turned 32 last week, and I really feel like I'm like 68. Like I don't relate. I just feel like an old head.
While we're talking to the younger audience, I want you guys to take note that, you know, when you're married, that's how important taking out the trash is. When your wife says take out the trash, gotta leave the show. Take out the trash. I don't care if you want to 2 o'clock to say, hey, take it before you go to sleep, take out the trash. I don't care about BMOC. You need to get in here.
Right. So okay. So let's get to some of the performances, man. So we have Dej Loaf, who performed this song called "Back It Up."
Yeah.
See, I didn't get that one. I knew the one with Kid Ink, but
yeah. Why she not doing? Why she start with that and then do "Try Me"? I didn't get why. Like I don't like it. I like Dej Loaf. She's cool, but like "Try Me" is the song we know you for. Right. How you experimenting with new stuff on BET Hip Hop Award? I don't know.
Because the
I know. All I know. I just know "Try Me." And I know the song that she did with Kid Ink.
Yeah.
And the record she had with Game. And that's about it. But like even Kid Ink coming out, and I'm looking at him. And this is like they couldn't even get the real Tiger. They got Kid Ink.
They had the dude from Empire up there who's like a mix. He's like half Chris Brown, half Tiger, half Kid Ink. There's 3 halves. There's 3 halves. This is crazy. Who else was up here who performed? I don't know these guys. Rich Homie. You know. Go ahead, Deshaunus.
I was gonna say they brought your boy Young Dro out, and he joined the movement of not speaking English. So I don't know what he said, but he part of the movement now because it was Dro. Candy, sour apple.
Dro used to be the lemon color, my color lemon lime and all the color flavorful stuff. I don't know what happened.
All green Kermit G.
I don't. All lemon lime color G. I got a Skittle sweater. I don't know what happened to that. I like that. I like that flow.
Yeah. Well, if you watch Dro the Breakfast Club the last couple of times, he's kind of in a weird space right now, so I don't know.
He's in a drug space. I like Dro.
I'll let you say it.
I'm sorry. Allegedly, from what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much else. Charles Hamilton, you came back into the game. I didn't even recognize him. Charles Hamilton, was he freestyling?
I heard he was.
So.
I heard he was.
You can't freestyle on a freestyle. Listen, okay, new age. When they say a freestyle cipher, you can't freestyle.
Yeah, you need to have that.
You have to write down your freestyle. He's way nicer than that. He's way nicer than that.
And nothing's worse.
Figured he could score points by actually freestyling.
Right.
And that's what I think. Nothing's worse than having to tell me you're freestyling because you're probably not ripping. Like, and I hate that. Like, don't use it as a scapegoat. Just give me hot bars. Don't be like, exactly. That's why I'm freestyling. It's like, nah. Like, I don't care about none of that. Like, I just care about getting some hot bars.
Because
Go ahead, Drew.
I'm sorry, because most people in the cipher, they probably knew a couple of weeks in advance that they're going to be on there, so they've been like writing their best stuff, getting ready for it. You just can't do that, like, because they coming, and you got to make sure that we ain't seen Charles Hamilton in that long.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to come right.
You're on national TV. What's BET? You're on regional TV. You're regional TV. Regional TV. Arizona can't see you. Utah can't see you. Okay, great. But there's other territories that can see you. You know what I mean? I don't know what's up with that. It was wild, man. I can't. Oh, who else was dope? Yeah, we said Redman killed it. Redman killed it, man.
Yeah, he did.
Redman was one of my favorite rappers when I was growing up, man. I loved going to the online websites and check out his lyrics because they were so just like descriptive. How do you feel about the older legends, Erica? Redman, man. What do you think?
Well, Redman's braids took me by surprise.
Look at his Instagram. He looked bad. I came across his Instagram. I'm like, you don't need that Instagram, bro.
What's the name? That's the change.
Yeah, it took me by surprise. But other than that, that was probably one of Redman. Like I wasn't really a fan of Redman coming up. Like I didn't really, except for his cribs. Like his cribs was classic.
Oh my God.
But other than that, like to see him and really go in the way he did. What was his line? Was his line the one where he said, "Shorty giving me head," and I'm texting LOL. SMA. Yeah, I was like, oh.
That was bars.
Okay.
That's Redman got bars, man. Redman is highly underrated, man. Highly underrated.
Very.
I don't know. I'm trying to go through it. There was a Cypher of guys. I had no idea who they were. It was the one. I think
Black Thought.
The
Hamiltons?
So let's get into that. So as my wife schooled me, those are all like Broadway actors.
Yeah.
BET was desperate this year, man. They
rap like it.
well, no, one dude, I think he was like Manuel something. He's like he directed In the Heights. He won like a Tony Award for it. Why was he in a Cypher?
I thought it was Bobito at first.
Why he was in a Cypher, I don't know. The Conscious Sister, she was speaking conscious. She's Harriet Tubman, she's Sojourner Truth.
Yeah, Truth.
You know what I mean? She's Michelle Obama. You know, she wasn't on beat.
No.
And she said the Truth like Sojourner line, which has been like so worn out and rap over the last 25 years.
She knew to this. It's hard to. She knew.
MC Light said that like 1982. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Truth like Sojourner is the most ran in the ground line.
But see, I think Sojourner would have been on beat though. I think she would have been on beat. What they've been through, I think she would have been on beat. I just can't. I'm going through my notes. Oh, Rich Homie Quan with the Masterpiece suit on from back in the day. What's up with that? Talk to me. Deshaun, you condone this? You condone this?
I'm gonna tell you this. Like at this point in the show, I'm waiting to write positive notes because I got my phone and I'm going through it. I'm like, man, this is gonna be bad. I'm gonna sound like an old head just hating, like man. And so he show up and I'm hoping for some stage presence. So I see the suit, he fresh. I'm like, okay, he come on with the car. So I'm like, okay, it's some hope. And then he started rapping. The car was fresh and he started rapping. And I was like, man, I remember back in the day before he started rapping where I liked this performance. So it kind of went downhill once he started rapping, but I was feeling the suit to change it up. Like I don't know, it was.
He had the old Burlington Coat Factory. This is the first week of school suit on. Like, hey, shout out to Burlington Coat Factory. I used to go there too.
Burlington, if it was fitted, you gotta ask T-Mac about that. If it's fitted, it probably wasn't Burlington. He didn't have a T-Mac two-piece suit on, so he did a little better than Burlington. It was probably like JCPenney's this year.
He like a mix between Juvenile and Pastor Troy going to the Source Awards.
Wow.
So no, then there was a site for some guys I didn't know that included. I think you said it, Andrew. Casey Veggie and Vince Staples.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of the other guys. That was the only two people I knew. I didn't know anybody else.
And the guy before him from Atlanta, the guy from Atlanta who right before them, I liked his verse a lot.
Yeah, he's dope.
He's like a hyped up Birdman.
Nah,
he reminds me of 3 Stacks.
He sounded just like 3 Stacks.
You can tell.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh yeah, him. Him. I like him.
Yeah, he was like 3 Stacks.
Yeah,
he was
not
one
him.
of the freshmen. He was one of the double XL freshmen, Rory.
Yeah, not him. Okay. That was the good guy. Yeah, it was another guy, another Cypher. He sounded like a hyped up Birdman. I don't know his name. The thing with TVs is that BC.
One thing too. I think BT they need to let go of that. If you notice, one of the backdrops is always those flames coming up.
Yeah,
they've been using that for like the last 3. I'm like, y'all need to be set, bro.
All the graphics, because on my screen it cut off the words of the people, because of BT's resolution. So I was getting like mad and Lamar and Ake. I was like, who's Ake? I don't know. Ake and Drake. So it's Ake versus. Okay, cool. Ake versus Drake. Cool. I'm trying to find my notes. Listen, people, this is clickbait. To be honest with you, I tried to find the most positive things. Listen, I'm embracing the new hip hop generation. I fight for hip hop all the time. And I just felt like somewhere down the line, I'm not blaming it all on BET. But you guys gotta have like an outreach program to these artists, man.
An outreach program.
Because when your top sellers of hip hop do not want to show up, and you first of all, the nominations were all the same people.
Yeah, they were.
Give or take a Nicki, give or take a Big Sean, switch them around, they were all the same categories, and none of them showed up.
Because And even another thing too, I feel like it goes into the same nominees. If you do like lyricist of the year, that should be the time for artists who don't necessarily get that mainstream love to be able to get some attention. Like really, like there's a lot of different pieces in hip hop that make it all complete. So
Yes.
you have, your big superstars like Drake and everything like that. But say somebody's a really big fan of, just Lupe or whoever, like somebody
Right.
who's not as mainstream. Give them an opportunity. Yeah, like Joey Badass
Joey
or
Badass
Action
and them wasn't
Bronson.
even there.
That's what I'm
People
saying.
like that, like give those people a chance to to get some exposure. And
I think the Hip Hop Awards needs to rebrand
I think
itself.
that they miss on every aspect of how they can make the show better. Performances aren't good. They don't reach different demographics, and they can't pull anybody from any demographic.
Exactly.
You get Busta Rhymes every year. You get Dougie Fresh to come to Box every year.
The same people every year.
It's a crapshoot.
First of all, the budget, like y'all said before, the budget for it just looked like it just didn't look like anybody put any type of thought into it. Like it just looked very, and I hate to say it, ghetto. Yeah, it looked bad.
It looked lazy.
Why would a mainstream artist or any artist that really has any notoriety would want to come to that? Because they know that if I come to this, it's probably going to lower my brand. So
that's the thing, and it's terrible, and it's like how can we?
Boys in the front row.
Yeah, how can we brand hip hop?
Yes.
All the celebrities in the audience, none of them were nominated.
Mm-mm.
Like
I got a positive that we can all agree on though.
Go ahead.
Scarface, I Am Hip Hop Award. Well deserved.
But then what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? He gets arrested the same night for child support payments.
He did.
Yeah.
The same night. They found out where he was, and they arrested him that same night with the award. The award was in the back seat.
Yeah.
And I like Scarface. Scarface, Deeply Rooted, one of the best hip hop albums to come out this year, probably top 10. But I'm like the biggest highlight, the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the guy gets arrested that night for child support payment.
But it's about his rap achievement, not about his fatherhood. It's the I Am Hip Hop, not I Am a Father Award.
I am a child support payer. I'm a child support payer award. I mean, I like Scarface. I like Scarface. I love Scarface. I think Scarface is one of the forefathers of this thing we call hip hop, man. But I mean, that kind of taints it a little bit.
Well,
Do you know
who's running BET right now? Because I know like
Viacom.
Viacom's the owner. I know Stephen Hill.
Well, like who? Right. No, that's the thing. So I'm thinking like, okay, so Stephen Hill is somebody who's very reputable.
Yeah.
He has a lot of great relationships in the business.
Yeah.
There's no way he can figure out how to. Like I look at it like this. So, like even if you have like the DJ or whatever, making like Swiss Beats, Just Blaze, people like that who are, who DJ for real. And like you have to someone has to bring the cachet of the show up in the network overall.
We need to
because right now it's in a bad space.
And
if I was on right.
No, and that's the thing. I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
To get people to come, you have to give a Lifetime Achievement Award to everybody. Jay-Z, Beyonce, everybody get Lifetime Achievement Award, Lifetime Achievement Show.
But it has to be done in a good way. Like even the way, because I hate to say it, them giving Scarface the award, does that mean anything at this point? Because it was kind of like, does it mean? And it's partly us as black people. We don't support the stuff that we do. We kind of always look down on the stuff that we do, unfortunately. But yet everybody wants a Grammy. But you know what I mean? So because when Grammy time, everybody gonna complain about not getting awards, and it's like we give each other awards and it don't mean nothing. But then on the flip side, the branding of it is terrible. Like the branding of it is very low positioning.
And you know something, Erica, that's a great point because it's like, okay, Scarface got a Lifetime Achievement Award, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little video package, great. Where's the performances at for Scarface?
Exactly.
Why are other artists coming out? Why is he not doing a medley? So we get no Scarface performance for his Lifetime Achievement Award?
Exactly, and barely got a speech. Like it's just like
barely got a speech in a little video package. I could edit that.
And to Erica's point about not supporting, our stuff, hip hop it kind of came from us supporting ourselves. Right. Making our own music, our own fashion, our own language, our own style of dance, art, everything. So to me, I don't want to sound like an old KRS-One dude, but like the basis of what hip hop, the basis of what About hip hop is
get
like
me a drink.
Exactly. I don't want to sound like I'm like 60 years like Grandmaster Caz.
I'm the Grandmaster of Master.
But like that's what it was about. It was about supporting our own and making our own lane. Like and not doing that.
Hip hop right now is aging terribly, like a coked out model right now. Hip hop is not aging well at all.
Can I get on my soapbox for like a half a minute for a second?
Deshaun, please, man, break some. You're the most enlightened brother on the show, man. What can we do to increase these things, man? What's your thoughts, man?
It's funny you say that because that's what I'm trying to like. All right, so like Walt said, we defend a lot of this, this bogus bash hip hop stuff. You see, like one of my good friends, I saw him post on Facebook earlier, like the little picture with all the classic albums. This is when hip hop was real. It's dead now. And he was like, yeah, Fetty Wap and Future couldn't see. Like, yeah, you're going to take Fetty Wap and Future, but you ain't going to talk about it. Like, anyway, that's not my point.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to see balance in the content of the hip hop awards because if a predominantly white network or if it was like a white spoof and all they did was like the cocaine and the Future, then we'd be like, oh, that's not all we do. But I looked at the BET Awards, and there wasn't any balance at all. So it's like if I'm watching this, and you can't expect people to dive deep and go take a hip-hop class in order to find out about the culture, they're going to watch the culture, they're going to watch BET, and if we don't have no balance, if we don't have any balance, and I'm just learning about hip-hop, and I turn on the Hip-Hop Awards, sponsored by a black network, allegedly, then if I see a whole 2 hours of show and there's no balance and everybody raps about the same content, don't get mad at the spoofs. Don't call Empire a show full of just gimmicks and gimmicks, like because this is what I just saw for 2 hours put on by us. So if we don't balance it out, don't complain when nobody else spoofs us because I didn't see any balance at all.
I'll add to that because the skits, I want to say, I think the whole "this is the hood" and "this is how we act" skits are not. They're overdone. It's over. It's not even funny anymore.
Played out.
Yeah, like this.
And I love Snoop. I love Snoop. But it's
the
whole
him taking the white people. This is me taking the white people through the hood, and this is you getting robbed. Like it was like, all right, like it's not. It's not necessary.
Because if that was at the Grammys or MTV, we all be upset. And
exactly.
Why would they do but we. Yeah.
And then something else, Deshaun, so you brought up a good point, man, Erica too, because it's like I try to defend hip hop so much. People are like, oh, the Future and Amigos. I'm like, well, what about Kendrick? What about J. Cole? What about Big Sean? These guys are excellent lyricists, and you're using the poster boy for our generation, whatever that is, to the lowest denominator of rap. You don't talk about the guys who are doing it, but then BT has the hip hop awards, and none of those guys I'm talking about are there. So I'm like a complete idiot. Joey Badass, Lupe, Wale, they're not there. They're not seen at all.
But one thing also, to that point, like people might not, they don't bring up the main guys. Bring up like the artists weren't as good. I remember Nori was on the Breakfast Club a couple months ago, and he was talking about the reason why rap was better back then. It's because like at Def Jam, he was talking about Def Jam, just for a smaller box out of the whole game. Def Jam had Jay, DMX, Ja Rule, like the A-list big bunch of artists at Def Jam, but their B&C squads were strong.
Yeah.
About Nori and stuff like that. Now there's no B squad.
Yeah.
Like it's either you're going to get Kendrick or you're going to get something.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get Nori, and you're not going to get Cam or like artists like Corrupt or artists that were like the people like those the next tier down who weren't necessarily Jay-Z.
Can I agree?
That's a good point.
But you get Redman and Method Man, the artists like that who can start a show like Hard Knock Life Tour or stuff like that.
That's a good point.
Rocking from them. That it's like the middle class in society. The middle class is gone. And that's
It's the icing is the plate. It's the icing is the plate. The cake is gone. Pause.
Yeah.
Deshaun, how you feel?
Yeah, I agree with that from the label standpoint because we grew up. I'm a fan of the super labels. It was always like everybody had the crew. I think this is where BET needs to help us understand that B-list group because I think everyone's kind of a fan of TDE, and then like Eminem has Slaughterhouse, and that's kind of undershaded. So I think there are a couple crews that can fill that void, but it's not the same platform. It's not like the super labels where everyone was in tune and we was moving and was closer lines. It's not the same movement, even though there's some talent out there. but it's also a shift in it's not cool, you know, to be under someone because now it's like I need to get royalties, I need to be savvy business wise.
Well,
it's like
and that's a good point. But the thing is, the industry has changed so much, and Erica, she probably definitely could attest to this as well. The game has changed so much just economically because a lot of us bought bootlegs of our favorite artists in the 2000s. The game has changed, the money is gone, so you have top artists fighting for pennies. Some of your top artists aren't making any money, and they're top artists. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to have a B squad when the A squad can barely eat. The A squad gotta sell Reeboks. The A squad gotta have a clothing line. The A squad gotta be on Empire to capitalize off of the marketing dollars being put into the music. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's a lot to do with economics. So we don't have a lot of major labels because the money isn't there from the consumer. But the consumer is the number one people who complain it. But they're bootlegging the people they like. They still bootlegging them.
And think about like if Kendrick, let's say people say Kendrick's one of the top dogs right now. Like the quality of project that J-Rock would have been like what Lloyd Banks and Game did under 50, or what the Gunners were doing or Ye was doing under Jay. But because everybody is on like that down slope, it's like J-Rock is released almost like a mixtape. Like we gonna talk about it, but it ain't gonna be there in a month because it ain't that same backing.
You know what's sad? The Game had an album that came out Friday. Yeah. He's not there to promote it. So
I was wondering about that.
So Button has an album that comes out this Friday. He's not there to promote it. Scarface is there with Deeply Rooted that just came out a month ago. No songs were mentioned. J-Rock had an album that came out. Action Bronson had an album that came out. Joey Badass had an album that came out. All these artists had albums that came out this year. I reviewed all of them. They're there. None of the songs were performed.
Yeah, they weren't there
at all. Wale, all these Big Sean, all these singles, they weren't even there to perform the songs they were nominated for. It's crazy.
It's both sides. I guess it's both sides because the leaders of the game, they need to be the leaders, or they need to, show up. But then on the other side is like BET also needs to provide a better platform because honestly, that award show, just how it was set up, was bad. Like. Yeah. Whoever the budgeting for it, like it was like, dang, we just did it. Like I said, it was like Campus Activity Board planned it. It was like not that much money in the budget.
SGA board. Yeah, like, no, the SGA board from the Parkers. Remember the Parkers from the community college?
If the show looks like that, you gotta think about stuff like like security. So if they can't even get like the stuff like sound and the audio right of the show, for the security, like I don't want to go ahead and get robbed because now. Whoever the about 20 is dudes with them, and that's it gets stuff gets real sometimes. You can't even trust the situation all the way.
You can't, and not to switch topics a little bit. So recently we had the Million Man March, with the anniversary, right? The anniversary of the Million Man March that came here in DC, and a lot of people had issues with the fact that BET didn't cover it. And so they were like, we're going to boycott the BET Awards because BET couldn't show any clips to do enough highlights for people. Erica, how do you feel about that? Do you think people have a valid point in not watching the BET Awards in protest of it? What do you think?
I definitely think people have a valid point in that, but at the same time, BET isn't BET anymore. It's not black owned. BET is owned by the same company MTV owns, so you can't really expect that, sadly. And they should have because it is black entertainment television, but it's really not black entertainment television anymore. It's really, I really hate to say, I feel like Viacom, I feel like they're running it in a way not to put black people down, but to almost be like, hey, they like jumping around and saying ratchet shit. So let's just put, ratchet stuff. So let's just put some ratchet stuff on television for them and let them.
They doing it.
That's what it seems.
They showing up. They showing up for the check. They showing up for it.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like. It seems like they're just like, let's put on some coonish stuff. Cause like I was looking at this preview for a show called The Westbrooks with these girls like, so I had a bunch of likes on Instagram and now I get money in real life from it. I was just like, what? Like, what are y'all? Like, what type of substance is this? Like, it was
and by the way, if somebody can tell me how to do that, I really appreciate it. Deshaun, man, how do we feel about this? Do people have a valid point in this whole boycott BET because of the whole Million Man March situation?
My thing is this: is like, tell me the end result. You know, and so when folks talk about boycotting, tell me what's the next step, because don't make me waste my time or the power that we have as a people. And I remember folks were talking about after one of the incidents, you know, let's boycott Walmart. Y'all gonna spend y'all money on Black Friday, let's boycott Walmart. And I was like, but what about all the black people that Walmart employs? And I'm like, and not to mention, you got a nice TV in your house, so you want me to pay full price 3 months from now as opposed to getting Black Friday? That don't help nobody. I'm sorry, we're not shutting Walmart down. So if you tell me that and so I just want to know the end result. If you say, hey, if we boycott, you know, BET, then, you know, these things will happen, or we can try to affect change here. I'm all in. But I'm not going to go off just because you changed your background picture on Facebook. I'm not going to and then Wednesday is back to your man crush Monday or whatever it is. Like, nah, show me the end result.
Social media activists that would have boycott BET or would have watched Love and Hip Hop the very next day. I don't get it. Drew, how do you feel about this, man? People got a valid point in this whole boycott situation, man.
Yeah, man, I think it goes back to supporting our own, you know, and you know, so there's a, you know, you look at they have what they show during the day. They're not showing a lot. They'll show ATL over and over again and stuff like that. They have, I mean, like seriously, they're not cutting into any like real programming. So why wouldn't you broadcast it? I remember back in the day, BT said BT News, they had their own anchors, stuff like that. They had. Even stuff like Teen Summit or whatever, they had like a political stance, and they had a political influence in somebody to get that information out to our community. So if they're going to stay true to who BT is, they should have showed it, because that's BT that we grew up on was, you know, those kind of things. When I feel they probably would have, you know, showed or given more attention at least. You know, back in the day, so they definitely should have showed. I don't know about boycotting the BET Awards, but I also feel like you could promote like this, you know, for ratchetness, for the lack of a better word, but you know, something that's, you know, we talk Black Lives Matter, like Ludacris talked about it tonight.
Yeah,
you know, if those things are directly being addressed to our community, then there's no good reason why it shouldn't be on, because it's definitely not going to be on CNN.
And that's the thing. I think people just kind of like just forget about what's going on. Like you said, all you guys have made good points. People just think that who are not in the entertainment world that there's some evil genius behind the scenes, pull the strings. There are black people who work at VH1. There are black people who work at BET. When you try to boycott your Walmarts, a lot of those Walmart jobs, and not to get off topic, going back to the whole Black Friday thing of you know, last year, but I'm like, a lot of those jobs are minority jobs. So when you boycotting, the big millionaire people, they got their money already. The people you're trying to hurt, you're not going to hurt them. You're hurting the people who are closer to you.
Yep.
So you boycott
it's like
something.
5 walls in a Forbes list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And maybe you boycott BET. Like, I get it. Okay, that's the start. Great. Like Deshauna said, what is the plan of action? Are you boycotting all the ratchet TV? Are you boycotting Housewives? Are you boycotting Love and Hip Hop? Black Ink? Like, what exactly are we doing? Are you boycotting TV as a whole? Like, you can't pinpoint to hurt somebody. You have to first learn the system in order to change it. And a lot of people don't want to know the system. They want to just be social media activists, pump their fist up, and change their profile.
And another thing too, to add to that,
point invisible fingers. Point invisible fingers. That's it. Go ahead, Deshauna.
Invisible fingers. Because I was gonna say another thing is too is people always talk about this search for leaders, and we don't see leaders.
Yeah.
And it's because we don't require leaders enough, because I'm not just reposting everything. No one ever asks who starts the memes or these movements. You don't even hold anybody accountable. You don't know who is posting let's boycott this. Like, you ain't gonna have a leader if you just follow the next wave and say, all right, let me move this here, let me just copy and paste this picture. Why we don't have any leaders? Because you letting the 13-year-old in this room get a meme up and you reposting on your thing. That's your leader, the 13-year-old tech savvy.
He's in the basement, like, yeah.
Watch
the memes.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
I lost my headphones. My headphones died.
You all good. It's funny because it's like, and that's a good point. We're in the age now. People post articles without reading the full article. Nope. We post statistics without doing any research. Some girl put statistics like, in the year 2030, all black men are going to be gay. So you need to stop watching Empire.
Stop watching Empire.
And I'm like, so only black guys are gay? I watching this show is gonna turn you gay. I didn't get it. And then somebody said the same thing that I said, and they challenged it, not because they agree with it, because they posted it. They want to save face by debating an article that made absolutely no sense and a meme that made no sense just because they posted it. Instead of just saying, my bad, and deleting the post because it didn't make any sense. People defend things to save face that have no basis, no research, no anything. That's the generation we're in.
If it's on the internet, that means it's true.
It must be real. It must be true. There's statistics. There's numbers. It must be Grace. Like, what? And y'all trying to boycott the BET Awards? Boycott education. You're boycotting education.
And then the thing is, the debate was on the same time tonight as the BET Awards. That's another thing that's like, you know, is
well, it's Democratic, so we gonna vote Democratic anyway. you know how us do. It don't matter what they saying. We gonna vote for whoever.
I don't know if it's the headphones or what, but I can barely hear you guys.
Because we're talking that knowledge right now. That's why you can't hear us. We're talking that knowledge. This is the streets talking right now.
This is that knowledge.
So we gonna wrap this up anyway, man. But yeah, we have to have another topic about this, man, because there's so many things we want to discuss, man. Hopefully we can do more of these, more than just 1 week as we get rolling, so we can have more topics throughout the week. We want to wait a whole week for it. But so yeah, so Deshaunus, man, any last words, man, about the whole BT Awards thing, man? I didn't even say show. I said the thing, the BT Awards thing. Any last words?
I know it gets old, but you know we got to do better. We got to do better. I mean, and we're here. BMOC is here for you all, and we'll have, you know, continue to have great content, better content. We have some great stuff coming up along the way, you know, and look forward to us, you know, and that's it. That's all.
Okay, Drew, can you hear us, Drew? Drew can't hear us. All right. Can you hear us, Drew?
A little bit.
Any last words? Last words for the BET Awards, man.
Last words?
Yeah.
BET, we got to do better. But in all seriousness, we really do. I would love to see a great show. You know, I want to see a great beat. I want to see a good beat, hip hop awards. I want to see a good Soul Train awards. You know,
yeah,
it's important to the culture. I would love to see it. I would love tonight to be talking about a great performance that we saw, or you know, seeing a great reunion, like say Cash Money got back together tonight or something like that. Like something dope we could all talk about tomorrow.
Everybody, even Turk.
We're not getting none of that. So we gotta do better.
Yeah, we gotta do better. Erica, any last words?
Yeah, I guess I have to. We definitely need to do better. I hate to say it. You know how you in the hood when you walking down the street and it's a bunch of Chinese stores next door to each other. It's the weed stores across the street, and then it's the daycares all next door. That's how I felt watching the BET Awards. It was like, okay, like I know where I'm at. You know, like let me get a chicken wing and fried meal, hot sauce. You know, you order.
Kind of ratchet, please.
And then you ordering behind the bulletproof glass, so you gotta talk like to the side, which is cool, and it's whatever. But it's like we need to reposition ourselves to something better. Because like he said, like we should be talking about classic moments, because this is our culture, this is our time. We just need to uplift it, and we need to act like it and stop depending on other shows and other people to do it if we're not doing it ourselves. So let's do it.
That's powerful. And shout out to the Cyphers, man. You know, that's probably always a highlight to me. We went from having Eminem and Slaughterhouse to having some guy from
the Hamiltons.
From Hamilton Heights. I don't know. Right? Not the Heights guy too. I'm not picking on him, but I'm just saying. We went from Talib, Mos Def, and Eminem rhyming together to like somebody talking about orange juice. I don't know. It's crazy. So and the Smack Battle, shout out to you. I'm a big fan. I want to shout out some of the commenters from the last video. Shout out to Jason 100. Shout out to go down. Jason, yeah, a lot of comments. Blady, Cryo, Mike J, M Carey 93, Andrew Hughes, JCSU Girl 513, always holding us down. Actor with a day job, Romel 1981. Dav1 LL3, Ocean Sage, Keston Pierce, Weeby, Casey Lorenz, AT&T Center, Chimanaki, T-Kush 187, Chad Graham, and Joe H. Man, we appreciate all you guys just commenting and supporting. All the other people who didn't comment, who's watching, we appreciate you guys too. So yeah, man, this is the recap, man. Don't blame me, man.
Awards. Yeah.
I have hope.
Shout outs to my brother. Shout outs to Trevor. For him, my niece, her nephew, that's gonna be born in the next couple of days whenever she's ready to appear. So shout outs to Trev.
I know Trevor's gonna be in our the next episode is our Tupac episode. He's gonna be a part of that. That's gonna be a good episode. The Tupac episode. Oh, I can't wait. I've been waiting the whole time for this. So Shauna, you ready?
Shauna, you ready? Special stuff coming up for that. Oh, going down. Basement. Special stuff coming up.
For those that want to know, I'm going to be the moderator, and I want to make sure things are balanced. Allegedly, I could argue the for or against, depending how the conversation goes. I want to balance things out. So we'll see. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more, please comment. I'll shout you out the next episode. Check us out every week. Subscribe at youtube.com/BMOCTV or BMOC.TV. I'm BMOC. Peace.